John Busbee with the Culture Buzz, and returning on the show here as a guest. We had a lot of fun talking before. She's got really a neat resume, a varied resume. Her creativity just, well, quite honestly, makes me a little bit envious because she has been doing all sorts of things. She belongs to the Iowa Poetry Association. She is with the and was a panelist for the 2019 IC Speaks Youth Poetry Conference. She's been a judge for 2020 IC Speaks Page Poem Contest. So she's not only one who does, she's one who encourages others to do. She is by her own admission, a spoken word and page poet. Kelsey Bigelow is just a delight. And you're going to find out more about this artist. Those of you who know her, those of you who are being introduced to her for the first time, well, you are going to be in for some wonderful cultural adventurism by getting to know Kelsey better. She has a great website. It's your portal to know Kelsey better. Go to www.kelkaypoetry.com, KELKAYB poetry.com. And the B is just the letter B, okay? And I'll give that a time or two so you can get that. Why are we talking today? Well, we could talk anytime, and Kelsey would be up to more creative mischief, but we're talking because she is now on tour with her just-released album, Depression, I can't even read my own, Depression Holders and Secret Keepers. Tell me to learn how to write better. Okay, Kelsey, that's what you need to do. Anyway, Depression Holders and Secret Keepers, that alone is just an enticing title. And we're going to find out about how this came to be, because that is a bold choice for a poet to make. But I admire it, because poetry, as far as I'm concerned, is something that needs to be spoken. It needs to be heard. It needs to be shared through audio transmission. Yes, you can read poetry and things like that, but truth be told, when I'm at home and I'm reading poetry, I am speaking it out loud, because that's what you want to do. You want to feel those words resonate in your mouth. And I'm going to just stop yapping here. And Kelsey, welcome to the show. I really want to find out, because Depression Holders and Secret Keepers, that is such a beguiling title. Tell us about the origins of this project, why this title is its kind of doorway into kind of capturing this moment, well, not a moment, but this time in your career when you had to create this album.
Yeah, thank you for having me back on. I always enjoy talking to you, so I'm happy to share this with you. Yeah, Depression Holders and Secret Keepers, it is quite the title, intentionally. It's an album that these pieces are not new, but they were written as spoken word poems. They were written for the stage. They were not written for the page like my book was. And creating an album was something that was always on my bucket list, but never was something I thought I would follow through on. But earlier this year, I was connected with Brandon Leak, the winner of America's Got Talent last year, and he's helping rally the poets to kind of earn our category back in the Grammys, the spoken word category. And so a bunch of us were like, all right, we'll get to work. We'll make our albums. And so I did. I created this album, and I wanted it to be a project, not just one to just add to the numbers submitting to the Grammys, but one that I was proud of and had meaning. And for me, this album was really about sharing my story from my childhood and my adolescence, early adult life, and my experience living with undiagnosed depression as of yet, and mental health in general, and how that's really shaped my life, so that I can better help other people in the world who might be feeling alone hear something in in any of these pieces to resonate with them and feel a little bit less alone in this world.
Well, you do a masterful job in kind of opening doors for people. And that is really what it's all about for you, I believe. It's part of your inherent mission, and that is to encourage others to open up. Use creativity as a vehicle to kind of release and maybe process some of those feelings that I think we all go through, different levels to be sure, because we experience different things, but you are becoming a champion because you do have that a combination of teaching and encouraging and enabling while you are also doing and processing and sharing. But is that really part of your inherent mission as a cornerstone?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you've heard of the StrengthsFinder test. One of my top strengths is developer, and that's really helping other people see their worth and their skill set and living up to their best abilities. And I think poetry has definitely been an avenue for me for that, of being able to help others process something maybe they've gone through that they didn't quite know how to process until they saw someone else do it, or really encouraging people to keep going if they've started and are feeling nervous about continuing on with poetry, to show them that there's more to poetry than just open mic, that it's cathartic, it can have a widespread effect and can really leave an impact on other people's lives.
Exactly. You know, there's another poet friend of mine as a veteran, and he has really pushed himself to become a nationally recognized and published poet. And he will be one of the first to admit that poetry is really a salve for processing what he has gone through. And it's something all of us kind of need. We need self-processing capabilities, and that is what Kelsey Bigelow does in a masterful way. She, people may think poet, one facet, fine, but you're looking at a multifaceted gem when you connect with Kelsey Bigelow. I encourage you to do so. She's got a great website. Go to www.kelkaypoetry.com. That's KELKAYB poetry.com. And that is where you can connect and get her new album just released, Depression Holders and Secret Keepers. It is wonderful. It is evocative, and it's something that you will enjoy. Describe some of those nascent moments when you realize that, okay, I love writing, I love poetry, I love being creative, but it's when we go to the spoken word that I think that I've found my truest and best power.
Yeah, there's just something about being on stage, or even virtually, or over the phone. Something about speaking the words out loud is just overwhelmingly powerful, and there's so much release in it. Every time I've been on tour so far, every performance on my tour so far has been different. No piece has been read exactly the same way, because the emotion I'm feeling in the moment is always different, and the way I need to release the words from my soul is always different. And sometimes it's more soft, it's softer and more reserved, and other times it's more powerful and in your face. And it's a very strong tool for feeling the range of emotions in a healthy way. And yeah, spoken word is just so much stronger.
And sometimes it's hard to find the word to express what you're feeling, but that's the beauty of it. Mm-hmm. Your audience is out there, they capture the raw moment, and then they've got it inside them, and they can start processing it from that moment on. But as you said, with a poem, with a piece, every time you visit it, you are at a different place. It's just that basic idiom. There is no moment that will ever be the same as this moment right now at this particular location. Yeah. And that is what you find just so engaging. And by the way, in that little chart that tells the kind of personality you are, what you are, I've got a term for it, used it for years, you are a cultural yenta. You make sure that people are matched with other people, other things, things like that. So There you are. I just gave you a new handle, Kelsey.
Thank you. I love those kinds of things. So I'll definitely be looking that up. Note to self.
Note to self. Cultural Yenta. Yenta's from the Fiddler on the Roof musical. So she's the matchmaker. There you go. By the way, folks, if you really want to get to know Kelsey, you can go to her website, as I said, kelkbpoetry.com. You can also order her book, Sprig of Lilac. Again, just a masterful title. Lilacs can just blossom so many memories. I had to try to do something there with that. But you can also connect with her new album, which is fantastic, Depression Holders and Secret Keepers. This is the start of a movement to get spoken word poetry recognized to the status it needs to be, because there really is an exceptional history with poetry over the decades and really centuries, hasn't there been?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we deserve better. We deserve to be on the big stages the same way that stand-up comedians are and musicians. And it's the same. We're using our stories and our voices, and it's just in a different format. I think it deserves just as much recognition.
It does, and rightfully so. Kelsey Bigelow's new album, Depression Holders and Secret Keepers, is one of these great things. It's a trailblazing new art form, kind of a reinvented art form, one that's been around, but it's seeing a new light of day in a new format that you will enjoy. I encourage you to go to her website, www.kelkbpoetry.com. That's KELKAYB poetry.com, and that's just the letter B. It's nothing added to it. That's no secrets. It's just a wonderful play on of her name. But Kelsey Bigelow is the artist you really need to follow. Make sure you connect. Her website has ways you can contact her, stay in touch. But whatever you do, get this album because it is just riveting. You will enjoy it. Kelsey, much continued success, and I have a feeling that we'll be chatting before long, because I, too, feel that poetry is making a special kind of resurgence in the creative world.
Yes, absolutely. And who knows what's next? I'll always have something to talk about, I'm sure.
You will help us stay in touch because you are right there at the cutting edge. That's what I appreciate about you. Kelsey Bigelow, get her new album. It is called Depression Holders and Secret Keepers. Thanks so much, Kelsey.
Thank you. Thank you.